Texans took out a lot of frustration last week on the Seahawks. Now they're in St. Louis trying to push the Rams' home losing streak to 12 games. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you on the NFL preview show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And Pat, 34-7 last week. Matt Schaub had more than 330 passing yards in the first half. You expecting much of the same here against St. Louis?
Yeah, their offense is on fire with we all know who the big receiver is, and Johnson is a guy that can't be stopped. And since they lost to Tagway and they don't really have a great pass rush, he could have another big day. Talking to Eric Winston about it, he said it was so great. I'm blocking, I'm looking up, and he's just running for touchdown after touchdown. He goes, we got exhausted chasing him down the field.
Having said that, this Houston team is still just a 6-7 team. And a lot of things would have to happen for them to make the playoffs. First of all, they'd have to win out, but a lot of other things would have to happen, and they'd have to win some tiebreakers here or there. What is the missing piece for this team finally being a playoff team?
You know, the way I was trained in the NFL was you got to build your team to win your division. And they were terrible in their division this year. I think they have one win in the division. So to win your division, and this is why this is a tough division, you have to be great in the secondary to stop Peyton Manning. You have to have a pass rush to stop Peyton Manning. Then you got to be ferocious up front to stop the Tennessee Titan power run game and Maurice Jones-Drew. So you have to build such a great dominating defense that can do it all. They haven't done that. And now they're in the process. I like the young linebackers. I think Cushing's going to be a big player there. We all like Mario. They're still not great inside at the defensive tackle spot. And you need, because Peyton throws from the pocket, you need a defensive tackle that can line up over a guard on third down and blow up the pocket and make Peyton move. And they don't have that. Without that, they're not going to win this division.
You also need an Ed Reed type safety, and they don't have a decent safety that's going to help out in that situation either. On the other side, the Rams, they're just building everything here, and that's kind of what they're going for. They're 1-12 right now. Tear it down. One of the things that you and I both said we liked when we were talking about St. Louis, Richie Incognito, the offensive lineman, 2 personal fouls in the first half last week, personal foul penalties. Kicked off the team this week, released.
Yeah.
They're ripping all the bad pieces away, and they're trying to get back to square one, which I like.
I like it, and I like that Billy Devaney, the GM and a close friend of mine, has the flexibility to do the right things every time they're at a crossroad. No more keeping a guy because he's paid. No more keeping a guy because someone liked him from the scouting staff. No. And I talked to Spags about this. He said, I like Richie Incognito, but it really was time for him to go here. And personally, I thought it was time for him to go earlier than this because he's had these kind of performances before where he gets irrational on the field.
It's the Kyle Turley of the old St. Louis Rams.
I talked to Kyle yesterday.
And he's like, yeah, he looks just like me on the field.
He wrote a song, Flying Helmets. Which he did.
Everybody remembers ripping off the helmet in the game in New Orleans and just chucking it all over the place. I'd like to hear that song, and I bet it'll climb the top of the charts in the football world. All right, real quickly, St. Louis. Most likely, it could be Kyle Bowler. It could be Keith Knoll again for a second straight week. The 6th-round rookie quarterback out of West Texas A&M University there in Canyon, Texas. It doesn't matter in terms of this game. But in terms of the next year, is finding a quarterback the number one priority?
I'm not sure of that, because if they get the top of this draft and they're looking at that Nebraska defensive tackle, they're going to probably want to take him. They definitely need a defensive tackle. They definitely need more pass rushing skills, and they definitely need to think about some offensive line help. So they've got a lot of issues here, and I know sooner or later they're going to need a quarterback, but it's going to be a function of Bowler should go. I think Keith Knoll has improved. He should even be here. And the fan base doesn't want to see Bulger again. So from the outside looking in, yes, it's the quarterback, but I'm not so sure they're going to do that.
Yeah, and I know you like Houston to win this game, so that's why we get into the next year for St. Louis. All right, it's 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. For more on this game, stay right here with CBSSports.com. That'll do it for the NFL preview shows presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty Good Man Snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.